You're not lazy. You're not broken. And honestly, you probably don't need another vacation. The real problem is simpler than that, and a lot more uncomfortable. You don't actually know how to rest. Now, before you close this video, hear me out, because this isn't about working less or doing yoga or buying a weighted blanket. This is about something most of us get completely wrong. We think rest is about doing fun things, relaxing things, pleasant things. But what if I told you that most of what you call rest is actually just a different kind of work? Let me paint you a picture. You've been grinding all week. Meetings, deadlines, emails that never stop coming. By Friday, you're fried, totally done. So what do? You collapse on the couch, open Netflix, and tell yourself you're finally resting. 3 hours later, you're still there, eyes glazing over, mind somewhere between numb and overstimulated. You go to bed, and somehow, you wake up even more tired than before. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. That wasn't rest. It felt like rest, it looked like rest, but your brain? Your brain was still working. Not in the same way it works during a meeting or while solving a problem, but it was processing, reacting, tracking plot lines, visual stimuli, emotional cues. You were lying down, sure, but you weren't recovering. Let me give you another example, one that's even more painful. The vacation paradox. You spend months planning it, saving for it, dreaming about it. You book the flights, the hotels, the activities, you make lists, you research the best restaurants, the hidden spots, the must-see landmarks. Finally, you go. And it's fine, maybe even good. But by the time you get back, you're completely wiped out. You sit down at your desk on Monday morning and think to yourself, I need a vacation from my vacation. This happens all the time. And it's not because you're weak or because you planned poorly. It's because you mistook entertainment for rest. Entertainment is stimulating, it's new, it's exciting. Rest is the opposite. Rest is quiet, familiar, undemanding. Entertainment asks something of you, even if it's just attention, decision-making, or emotional engagement. Rest asks nothing. So here's the shift I want you to make. Rest is not about pleasure. Rest is about releasing tension. Those are two completely different things. Pleasure can be restful, but it often isn't, and that's where we get stuck. We think if something feels good, it must be restful. But your brain doesn't care how something feels. It cares whether it's expending energy or recovering it. Now, let's go deeper, because not all tiredness is the same, and this is where most people completely miss the point. There are actually 3 types of fatigue, and each one needs a different kind of rest. If you don't match them correctly, you stay exhausted no matter what you do. Let's start with the most obvious one, physical fatigue. This is when your body is tired, your muscles are heavy, your eyes want to close, you feel like you could sleep for a week. The cause? Usually lack of sleep, poor nutrition, or too much physical effort without recovery. The fix? Actually pretty straightforward. Sleep. Real uninterrupted sleep. Food. Not junk, actual nourishment. And stillness. Just lying down, doing nothing. Sounds simple, right? And yet, most people don't do this. They try to rest from physical fatigue by staying busy in a different way. They go out, they socialize, they plan active weekends, and then they wonder why they're still dragging by Monday. Physical rest means you stop moving. That's it. No hacks, no optimization. Your body needs to be horizontal and unconscious for several hours. If you're not doing that, nothing else will work. Now let's talk about the second type, emotional fatigue. This one sneaks up on you. It's not about your body or even your mind. It's about your feelings. You're irritable. Everything annoys you. Small things feel like big things. Someone asks you a simple question and you want to snap at them. You're not sad, exactly. You're not anxious. You're just done with people. Emotional fatigue comes from too much interaction, too many meetings, too many conversations, too many people needing things from you. Even good interactions drain this battery. A fun party with friends? Still draining. A meaningful conversation with someone you love? Also draining. That doesn't mean those things are bad. It just means your emotional system has limits. So what's the rest for emotional fatigue? Solitude. Real solitude. Not scrolling alone in your room. Actual time where no one needs anything from you, where you don't have to perform, explain, or respond. And here's the key. It has to feel safe. If you're alone but anxious about what people think of you, or replaying a conversation in your head, that's not rest. That's just isolation with your emotional system still running. Real emotional rest might look like sitting in a park, taking a walk with no destination, listening to music you've heard 100 times. It might even be talking, but only with someone who doesn't need anything from you and won't judge you. That's rare, but it's powerful. All right, now for the tricky one. Mental fatigue. This is when your brain is fried. You can't focus, you forget simple things, you read the same sentence 3 times and still don't know what it says. You're not physically tired, you're not emotionally drained, your mind is just full. Mental fatigue comes from too much thinking, too many decisions, too much problem solving, too much information. And here's where people make the biggest mistake. They try to rest their mind by giving it more input. They watch documentaries, listen to podcasts, scroll through articles. They think, well, I'm not working, so this must be rest. Wrong. Your brain is still processing, still analyzing, still consuming. Mental rest is not about replacing work thoughts with fun thoughts. It's about letting your mind go quiet. And that's really hard for most people, because a quiet mind feels boring, uncomfortable, almost wasteful. We've been trained to think that if we're not learning or consuming or producing, we're wasting time. But your brain needs space. It needs room to wander, to process what's already in there, to consolidate, to reset. Real mental rest looks like walking without a podcast, sitting without your phone, staring out a window, taking a shower and actually paying attention to the water. These sound like nothing. And that's exactly the point. Your brain doesn't need more input. It needs less. So let's bring this together. 3 types of fatigue, 3 types of rest. If your body is tired, sleep and stillness. If your emotions are drained, solitude and safety. If your mind is overloaded, silence and space. The trick is knowing which one you actually need. And most of the time, you need more than one. Now, before we wrap up, let me give you 3 quick rules. These are the things that make rest actually work. Rule 1, no novelty. Familiar is restorative. New things, even fun new things, require mental energy. Your brain has to map them, assess them, respond to them. That's not rest. Rest is rewatching a show you've seen before, walking a route you know, eating food that doesn't surprise you. Boring is good. Rule 2, no responsibility. If you're planning, organizing, or managing anything, even your own rest, that's work. Rest means 0 decisions. No, what should we do next? No, did I remember to? Just existence. Rule 3, no guilt. This one's the hardest, because if you feel bad about resting, your brain stays in alarm mode. Guilt is a form of self-monitoring, and monitoring is work. You can't rest if you're judging yourself for resting. So let me say this clearly. Rest is not a reward. It's not something you earn after being productive enough. It's maintenance, like charging your phone, like putting gas in your car. You don't feel guilty about those things. So stop feeling guilty about this. Here's the bottom line. You're not tired because you're weak. You're tired because you're trying to recover using the wrong tools. You're confusing stimulation with restoration. You're giving your brain more when it needs less. And you're beating yourself up for being human. Stop that. Rest is simple. It's not exciting, it's not Instagram-worthy, it doesn't make for a good story. But it works. And you don't need permission to do it. You just need to stop mistaking everything else for it. You don't need to earn rest. You need it to function. So give yourself that and see what happens.